Hi, I'm Michael Wan. Thanks for watching us today. Molly Tibbetts killed by an illegal alien. That is the subject of today's op-ed. This is from USA Today. An undocumented immigrant told police that he killed University of Iowa student Molly Tibbetts in a moment of panic after she attempted to call for help on her cell phone. Christian Bahena Rivera, a Mexican national who has lived in Iowa for at least 4 years, is being held on a first-degree murder charge in the brazen attack. Tibbetts vanished July 18th while out for an evening jog. Court papers say that Rivera led investigators early Tuesday to the body of Tibbetts, who disappeared. She's a 20-year-old lady who disappeared while running in her hometown of 1,400 yards, about 70 miles east of Des Moines. The ensuing month-long search for her was widely followed in national news reports. Rick Ron, special agent in charge at the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, said Rivera's motive for the alleged attack remains unclear. Ron said this: "He seemed to be drawn to her that particular day, and for whatever reason, he chose to abduct her." Rivera noticed Tibbetts jogging and briefly followed her in his black Chevy Malibu. Rivera told detectives he got out of his car and started running behind her and alongside her. Tibbetts then grabbed her phone and told him she was going to call the police. At that point, Rivera got mad and panicked and blocked his memory, which is what happens when he gets very upset, according to the criminal complaint. Rivera told investigators he doesn't remember anything after that until he arrived at an intersection. He said he made a U-turn, drove to an entrance of a field, pulled into a driveway, and rode up to a cornfield. Rivera told officials he pulled Tibbetts out of the trunk and found blood on the side of her head. He dragged Tibbetts on foot from his vehicle to a secluded location in the cornfield. So he told officials that then put her over his shoulder and took her 20 meters into the cornfield, where he covered her with some corn stalks and left her face up. Police found her body on rural property 10 miles from her hometown of Brooklyn. Her dad said this: "It never crossed our mind that she wouldn't come home safe." Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds says residents are heartbroken and angered by the news. Reynolds noted that thousands of Iowans searched and prayed for Molly's safe return. She blamed the broken immigration system and promised to bring justice to Molly's killer. President Donald Trump called the nation's immigration laws a disgrace that needs to be overhauled. He's 100% correct on that. Trump asked his audience at a rally Tuesday in Charleston, West Virginia, whether they had heard about this illegal alien from Mexico. This is what Trump said: "You saw what happened to that incredible, beautiful young woman. Should have never happened." Tibbetts was scheduled to begin her sophomore year at the University of Iowa this week. As part of her curriculum, Molly has been trained to assist battered women and men. So today, a lot of talking heads have been talking about this immigration system, this broken immigration system in the United States. This is a huge problem. This is one of the reasons why Donald Trump got elected back in 2016. Trump mentioned about Kate Steinle, who was a 32-year-old blonde-haired girl who lived in San Francisco. She got shot in front of her dad by a Mexican, by an illegal immigrant. He got deported. I think his name was Francisco Sanchez or something like that. He got deported 5 times, came back the 6th time, knowing that San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and then shot her point blank. I mean, this didn't just happen in San Francisco. In LA, there was a boy named Jamil Shah Jr. Jamil Shah Jr., he got shot by an illegal immigrant. And also, his dad was right beside him. He came right back after a minute after his son got shot, but it was by the time when he arrived, it was already too late. This is the reason why the immigration system has to be fixed. The mainstream media, they don't want to talk about these kind of news. All they want to talk about are the people who, I'm not saying that all illegal immigrants are all bad here. Some of them are really try to be good and try to be model citizens as much as they can be and try to abide by the law, and they hope for one day to be a United States citizen. But there are so many other cases, like Jamil Shah and Kate Steinle. And the biggest problem is the mainstream media and also Congress and the Senate. They blocked the Kate Steinle law, the Steinle law. It should have gone through. So the Steinle law, according to the Steinle law, if it went through the Congress and the president signed it, but Obama didn't sign it, but if it went through, what that law would have done is they would have prevented illegal immigrants crossing over to the United States. And also, if they get caught doing murder or rape, they would get kicked out of the country or go to federal prison. So I don't understand why the Democrats wanted to block this. It doesn't make sense at all. What the Democrats are doing, I don't understand anything what they're trying to do. All they're trying to do is just obstruct President Trump. And also, what they're all trying to do is they want open borders. They want open borders. They want illegal immigrants to come as much as possible, hoping that one day they would become citizens here and vote for the Democratic Party. Of course, probably they would. Why not? If they keep on pushing open borders. But that's not right, right? You have to go through the legal, proper process. You can't just let anybody in. But that's what the Democrats and the mainstream media want. So this whole thing is corrupt. The Democratic Party are very corrupt right now, and also the mainstream media, they're even more corrupt than the Democratic Party. That's how I see it. I've never seen the New York Times or Washington Post or CNN put these kind of Molly Tibbetts tragedy in front page news. I don't understand why they don't do that. Isn't that a big news? Isn't this about national security if you think about it? So it's all about the media right now. I think right now the biggest problem in the United States is the mainstream media. They are not covering the news correctly. I think President Trump, he's doing fine. He's doing a great job. He has been, he was at the forefront of deregulation. For every one new regulation, he got rid of 22, okay? And the unemployment rate is almost historically the lowest, almost at that level. It's hovering around 3.8%, 3.9%. And the blacks' unemployment rate is lowest in history. And if you check out last Friday's Rasmussen poll, he hit 36% approval rating among the blacks. That is unheard of. Can you even imagine a Republican president hitting 36%? If he keeps on going that, if he follows this trend, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 50%. If Donald Trump hits 50% of approval rating among the blacks, he has 2020 election. You can take that to the bank. He's going to win it in a landslide. And the Democrats, they're scared about this. They're scared about this trend. Even the USA Today reported about it, even though the New York Times and Washington Post didn't. So right now, I think Trump is winning, even though the Paul Manafort, the mainstream media, they're just screaming about the Paul Manafort being charged, and he pleaded, he got guilty on 8 counts. That's all they want to talk about. But it had nothing to do with Donald Trump and Russia. Nothing to do with that. And they're trying to focus on right now Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. They want Michael Cohen to say something, say anything that's detrimental to President Trump. So I think the mainstream media, they have become just corrupt, so corrupt at this point that I don't read them that much anymore. I really don't. I don't check out the New York Times and Washington Post that much. I just read the headlines. I don't even go to the articles anymore because they're just filled with fake news. So I also plead to our viewers and our readers to focus more on the alternative media. There are a lot of great ones out there. There are a lot of great ones, and especially the Wall Street Journal try to play fair, and also Washington Times, I believe, also try to play fair. You know, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm a journalist, but I want to give everybody a fair shake, you know. But look at the mainstream media. If you check out the New York Times or Washington Post or CNN, they are just an extended arm of the Democratic Party. That's all I read and all I see. That's all they scream about. Turn on MSNBC. It's like the Democratic Party people just, you know, screaming out of their lungs how Trump is so evil and all that. They don't have any message. They don't have a leader. The leader that they chose was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's a socialist. Pretty much, I feel like the Democratic Party and the mainstream media, they're trying to push for socialists. I guess that's what they're trying to do, to prompt up Ocasio-Cortez like that. I believe currently, right now, the Democratic Party is completely lost. That's why the only message that they have is being anti-Trump, just anti-Trump. We hate Trump. We hate Trump. That's the only message that I've been hearing for the past 2 years, ever since Trump got elected. They don't have a leader right now. Who is their leader? Chuck Schumer? I don't think so. Nancy Pelosi? I think the Democratic Party's leader is right now Maxine Waters, probably, arguably Maxine Waters. And they don't have, I don't know what they're running on, even in this midterm election. I believe that there will be no blue wave, even though the mainstream media desperately wants a blue wave to happen. But I don't think it's happening. Even in California, in Southern California, I don't think it's happening. I'm actually seeing some kind of Republican resurgence here. And to see John Cox making it to the runoff and having a November election against a far-left Democrat like Gavin Newsom, I think that is something that we should notice. So even about this illegal immigrants, when Trump was criticizing about illegal immigration here in the United States, I think he's totally right about it. What's so wrong about trying to block illegal immigrants here? What's so wrong about it? And the mainstream media is trying to portray that as racist or something like that. You know, I'm an Asian. I don't feel like that's racist. You know, I want people, when immigrants to come over to the United States, I want them to go through the proper process. You know, for instance, like for my friend, it took him 10 years to get a green card. Why don't they try to take that proper process? How come the United States have to bring in all the illegal immigrants all over the world? Huh? What kind of country does that? That's all I'm saying. Well, that's our show for today. Our show, Op-Ed Live, is not about left or right. It's about what's right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.